Hello my lovelies, Robbie here at Kickback Garage. Today I'm just going to be messing around in the garage. I've got a couple of issues on both these scooters, nothing drastic, that I need to sort out before I do my Beeline review video, which is coming up as soon as this has been sorted out. So if you fancy listening to me babble about the Sledgehammer and my RT240, then grab a coffee. This could be interesting. I'll see you after the intro. So what I need to do today is, well, let me tell you a little bit of a story first. I know you love story time. I was going to take the Sledgehammer. Loads of people have asked, so now I'm going to tell it. That's why I'm making this video mainly. Loads of people asked why I didn't take the Sledgehammer when I went with the boys who were going on the way to No Cap on their lambrettas, and the reason why I didn't take the Sledgehammer was because I couldn't. It wasn't by choice. What happened was I packed up the scooter. When I came home from the last big trip, 1600 kilometers, I'd split a footboard, so I took off the footboard, welded that up, put some primer on it, put it back together, and I really wasn't expecting anything to go wrong with it because it worked perfectly fine when I had packed it up. So I packed up the scooter. I was going to meet the guys straight after work, so I had to take this to work, and I didn't really get that far before it started stuttering and coughing. I thought first, shit, I've got some crap in my carb or something like that. I've got a filter on, so I was finding that a little bit odd, but I've ridden quite far, so could have been that. I've done 5,500 kilometers on the sledge, just so you know. And on my way to work, it is 30 kilometers. I had got about 10 kilometers and it felt like I seized. It really odd. I was like, shit, what's going on here? And then it cut out. I started first kick, no problems. I jumped back on the scooter and I was almost at work and I was thinking, fuck, I can't use this. If it's going to be misbehaving, it was really misbehaving badly. So I jogged it home on the cycle path because I didn't dare ride on the main roads with the tunnels and stuff. I didn't want to break down in there, and I got it home and stuck it in the naughty corner, put all my gear over onto Tourid, the RT240, and I used that to work and on the trip. What I think happened on this was the bracket to the CDI is at a funny angle, and the HT lead was a little bit stretched. I didn't think too much of it when I fixed it, when I first fit it, but after I got my split, you remember the video I showed you, I split the plug cap, the rubber one, and it was earthing out on the frame. When I fit a new plug cap, I had to cut a little bit of the HT lead, and yeah, it was a little bit too short, but I find actually that the HT lead that comes with the vape, the copper wires, there's not a lot of copper wires there, and you don't get proper purchase on, so you can end up like screwing it and not knowing if it's actually in place. And you end up with just like a couple of strands or something like that. So when I opened up the panel yesterday, I could just pull out the HT lead. And so that, hopefully that's what's wrong with it. I don't fire it up or anything, but because it was working fine, I reckon then it was an electrical problem. The reason why I thought it was seizing, I reckon, is because you've got such a big piston in there that when it sort of, if it misfires, you're not stopping that inertia of that piston, and it's basically engine braking. I think that is what has been happening, but we're going to have a look at that in a second. But first off, we'll go over to Tourid. Let me do some little bit of wobbly cam, and what I noticed was one of my viewers, thank you very much for pointing this out, by the way, because I actually didn't notice it myself. One of my viewers, was it as much as a month ago? He said this screw was coming out of the headset. And that was true. And I screwed it in again, put a little bit of Loctite in, everything's fine. But the problem with my headset here is actually that the threads are dead. They're gone. I don't fancy ruining my paint, because I actually don't know the paint code to this. I don't want to ruin my paint and weld it up. The reason why it's bust there, the threads, is the fact that I've had Scootopia rims earlier and light rims. They started to look a bit shabby quite quickly. This one I've had, I think, for about 3 years, and it still looks brand new, and I ride in all weathers. But the fit, this is a little bit bigger, so there's a bit of a gap. I can put my fingernails in there, no problem. Actually, 3 fingernails if I try. And what I think is happening is the fact that that is sort of been pressing out on the screw, and with the vibrations, that it's sort of just wrecked the threads. I have bought 2 items, which I hope at least one of them is going to help me fix this. So this might be a problem you have yourself if you've got a headlight rim that wants it because the threads are buggered. And I think I've been a bit smart. We'll see. My bench looks a right mess. I really need to do some tidying up, but I've been more busy with actually riding the scooter than I have working on it. The funny thing is, when I start doing those POV long ride videos, my views drop. So I need to get back in the garage and do some garage stuff to get those views up again. Apparently, you're all fixing stuff instead of riding it. No, I am not blaming you. I don't really like to watch POV videos myself. But if you're interested in how Norway looks with the nature and stuff, definitely worth a look, because I went over some of the most beautiful mountain passes that Norway has. So it's actually an okay watch. But I think it's also, obviously, it's rally season. People aren't inside watching YouTube and stuff. They're actually doing something, like people with real lives. I bought some stuff I had to buy new tyres because I sold my spare tyre to, I always like to have one handy, because if someone says, hey, we're going on for a big ride and my tyre is fucked, I can change that pretty quick, as you know, and I like to have at least one tyre in the garage. So I sold this to Wayne, who needed a new tyre for his adventures up to Trondheim. And while I was rooting around Scooter Centre web page, I found these little speed clip things. I'm going to try and hold it so that you can see what it is. I am hoping, can you see that? If you're interested, I can give you the product code. Actually, I'll tell it now. Let's have a look what it says. It doesn't say anything, so I'll have to find that on my account and see what it is. But it's actually a speed clip for bodywork for Vespa GTS, and handily it is 4mm thread on the rear. It looks like a mini SOUK clip. So what I'm hoping is that this hole is far enough down that I can just slip this over and use this to secure my headlight. I'm hoping that works. And if all else fails, I've got another trick up my sleeve. So another thing I bought was this little item. I bought a few of these because these I think are probably quite handy. If you're going to repair your mag housing on a standard engine, then I reckon these are a nice bit of kit. I've never seen them before. I saw them on the Scooter Centre website. I just searched for 4mm and saw if I could have a look, see if it's something that I can repair it with, because it's too thin there really to put a helicoil in, to be honest. So I'm hoping the speed clips work. If the speed clips don't work, then I found this item here. It's from MB, tiny little thing, and it's actually quite clever. This is he designed this so that you can repair mag house threads, and basically on the outside is, I think it's 6mm. Does it say on the packet what it is? It is, he calls it a, right, it's in German obviously, yeah, so it's 6mm thread on the outside. So if all things fail, what I can do is tap it to 6mm and put this in with some really strong Loctite. It's sort of a mini time cert. Put it in with Loctite or epoxy or something like that, and handle it. That is also 4mm, and I reckon you've got a pretty permanent fix there, because you're not knackering your headset, you're actually threading in the threads there. So we're going to see which one of these I use. Another thing I bought, which might interest you, is, the thing is, I got a new super exhaust from BGM, from Scooter Centre. And when I was on the trip, the RT is slightly overjetted, and I was finding that the thing is, the sledgehammer is really addictive. That torque is so addictive, and I'm so used now to just having to like ease on the throttle, 3,000 revs, you've got full power. On the RT, I need to go up in the revs a bit. And I think I buggered the port timers as well, because I did get a heads up this winter when I fit the new Nickerseal plated 240 barrel. I raised the port timings with 1mm because I knew I was going to try another exhaust on there. Thing is, I got the exhaust, but I didn't get I got the bracketry as well that comes with the JL type exhaust, but that does not fit on the Cassette Performance side case. You could obviously just shim it up and stuff like that, but I'm not a big fan of bolting stuff into the side case. I really do like to use studs. So what I have bought is, where are you? Is the same bracket that I used on the SIP No Speed when I had that on the Series 1 last year. I really enjoyed that No Speed. Fitting was a bit of a pain, but we'll see how it goes as soon as I get the other stuff I've ordered. But anyway, this I have ordered. How does that fit? Fits like that onto a case. Very nice. It's the same sort of system that I actually suspect that these TD fabrication or TD Customs in Germany, I think they maybe actually make the ones for Rimini. I've seen a few variations of these as well. Scooter the Ferro as well has got a variation for this, for their own pipe. The only problem is I need to get the old angle grinder out and just take a little bit of grind it down a little bit on this area here so that it fits the case properly. But the proper solid heavy duty, and obviously got a rubber buffer in between the exhaust. And what I'm missing is the end pipe. And Scooter Centre, I haven't got those yet. So what I did, I bit the bullet. I haven't got it yet. I bit the bullet and I bought an end can. The nicest looking end can with a 3-stud spacement that I found was actually for sale at Cambridge Lambretta. And the reason why I saw that was my friend Odin in Oslo. He bought himself a new France Speed Super Tourer, and he showed me that ink can. It looks really nice. It's sort of a plain carbon fibre with not shiny, sort of half matte. It looked really nice. So I bit the bullet there, and I've just simply bought the ink can because I really want to. I've changed the port timings to suit the sort of a sports touring exhaust, and what I'm finding is when I've moved the port timings, I've lost a little bit of grunt. It really wants to rev on, but the exhaust won't let it. So I probably lost about 3 or 4 horsepower or something there. And the fact that I've got really lazy and I'm not used to having to really rev it out. There's no incentive to do that on the sledgehammer. So yeah, so that's exciting. So that's a video that's coming pretty soon, I reckon. The exhaust end can has been sent, and we'll have a look at that BGM exhaust. Looking forward to that, because if that gives a new lease of life to my RT. The thing is, that thing has to sort of keep up with the sledgehammer, something that it doesn't do at the moment. So when I'm riding with my son, we're fighting over who's going to use the sledgehammer, and obviously I paid that out of my own wallet, and I really need to, I really can't afford 2 sledgehammers. So I'm going to see if I can give the RT, that's the beauty of the RT kit, is that you can use it for different applications. It's already been tuned. It's got a race tour tune on it. So hopefully that pipe will suit my exhaust timings better. Capiche? It's actually a miracle that it's still stuck in, but I think it's because the bezel is a little bit skew width, and it's actually catching on the bezel itself, so I didn't lose that screw. What I did see was, because it was rattling around in there and screwing itself out, what I did see, have a look at this. I think the reason why this has happened is because, it's a country mile away from being able to fit properly, so when you screw that in properly, you end up getting a lot of pressure on that little screw there. Luckily, the other 2 are fine. So let me screw these out. I'm talking Norwegian. Let me screw these out, and we'll have a look what solution I have to use to fix this. As you can see on the around the screw hole there's loads of black stuff, and that was there was stripes and black shit on the headset there. It was raining that day when I came back from the last long ride, and what I'm hoping, if my calculations are correct, is that if I'm super lucky, is they're actually quite tight, which is good, but I actually think we might be on a winner there. Might just fit. I have to actually price it up so I don't wreck the pin on. It's quite a tight fit. Let's see if I can get it over there. Or wouldn't it be handy if... Oh my God. I was so lucky, I think. That means I don't have to drill it out and use... I think I'm going to... If I tap that in slightly... My God, that's almost as if that was made for that job. I have to move it up a bit. I'm not quite hitting the hole. There we go. My God, I need to do some wobbly cam. So obviously, if you have, let me just take the camera off. If you have got Screwtopia bezel, or a bezel that's quite tight, then that won't work. But I reckon, if you look there, that is bob on, man. Wow. So if I can get this headlight back on, let me just pop you on there on my little magnet. There you go. If I can see if I can squeeze my headset back on. Oh my God. That is just pure genius, lad. That is, I am so happy about that, actually. Brilliant. That's a quick fix. So if you've got that problem and your bezel is loose enough, you can actually use those on all 3. That was absolutely genius, and I was so lucky with the measurements there. So that might actually work on a serious one as well, I reckon. Absolutely brilliant. That's great. While I've got the jockey's box and stop light out, I'm going to fit yet another Casa Performance LED headlight. There's a lot of people that ask me about that. I really don't know. It is very bright. I don't know how it performs or how the light pattern is out on the road, because if you look outside the window, you see this glaring sun. It is 10 o'clock at night. It doesn't go dark here really in the summer at all. We get sort of a hazy patch of something that looks like dawn or dusk between yeah, 11:30 and 2 o'clock, and then it's bright daylight again. But one thing I'm looking forward to is I'm going to a rally in August, and they've got some really dark tunnels there that haven't got lights on, so I'll definitely be able to try it there. So you have to be a little bit patient with me. Like I said, unfortunately, we do not have, it's not dark here. Well, aren't you lucky buggers? And I am not so lucky. It turns out that the thread for the bottom of the headset was buggered as well. And it also turns out that the headlight bezel for Casa Lambretta, the new one that I got now, is a bit tighter than the old one that I had on. So what that means is I can only use one of the... I've only got enough room to be able to use one of these ingenious little GTS clips. Yeah, so I'm finding myself having to tap out this hole at the bottom here to a... why is it? To M6 fine thread, so that I can fit that MB grommet thing, so they can actually fit this damn headlight. And because the Casa Performance LED headlight is a little bit heavy, I want to make sure that I'm using all 3 screws. So I've just tapped it out to 6. Like I said, I am going to fit that little grommet in there. What I'm going to do, I am going to put it in with the strongest Loctite that I've got, and I'm going to put a little bit of epoxy around the edge as well. My thinking is this: I could fit it like the opposite way and cut it flush, but if that thing spins, you're never going to be able to remove that screw again. So what I'm going to have to be a little bit patient. Like I said, bit of really strong Loctite in there, and I'm actually going to put a blob of epoxy around there as well. Luckily on the Series 2 headset, or at least this one I have, you've got a little bit more meat around this screw that is at the bottom, actually a little bit here as well, and on the side. That's probably why it was a bit tight, because you've got a bit of a ramp on the inside there, so you've got a bit more meat to put on. I still don't reckon, what is it, 2.5 millimeters or something like that here. I think I've probably got about 3. It's still a little, not really enough to warrant a helicoil, I reckon. So hopefully this will work. I have just mixed up some 2 components epoxy, and I'm just going to put that into the threads. Quickly, Rob, quickly. I'm simply going to screw this in here and hope I'll give it about half an hour or something to dry. Actually, I'm going to be a little bit drastic. I'm going to put it the other way around, because that actually builds more than I wish it to build. So I could actually chamfer the top here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put epoxy. I could have really chamfered the top here, but I've already mixed my epoxy, and I don't want that to dry just yet. I think I'm going to thread it in this way, because then it's going to be actually going to be flush. Hello. I can't do anything with my left hand. I am not ambidextrous. I'm just going to get a pair of tweezers, not tweezers, pliers. I'm just going to just make it flush. And what I think I'm going to do now, just to secure it, is use a bit of a punch, a hole punch, and just punch it on the corner there so that it won't be able to screw itself up again. Just obviously have to be careful, I don't want to break my headset. I'm just going to punch it on the corner here. Am I managing to pin that over? I need new eyes. Can someone buy me some new eyes, please? And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is not going anywhere. Job done. I'm really pleased with that. Lucky for me, I had both systems there, but I reckon if it was a little bit of a job, more than what I was expecting. But if your headlight rim is not as tight as this one was, like as shitty as the last one I had, then you'd probably actually be able to get 2 speed clips in there. But yeah, I ended up using both methods. Both methods work. Speed clips easier. But it's nice and secure here, and just to make sure that that was okay on the epoxy that I used, I screwed it out a couple of times, the screw in the bottom, and it's fine. The screw is, the insert that is nice and tight. So hopefully I won't have any problems with that in the future. Yeah. Last but not least, I want to show you the problem I had with my ignition on my sledgehammer. On this build I have used the TD Fabrications bracket for the CDI and regulator. Problem being, on the Scooty Loopy John version of the bracket for Series 2, your coil sits in the correct position with the HT lead pointing straight forwards. So that's the initial problem I had, was that it was the lead, HT lead from the vape was a little bit short after I had to cut it because I had problems with the plug cap rubbing on the frame and on the rear brake cable. I'm happy to say that is rock solid still. And that's good. After 1,600 kilometers, so that's not going to go anywhere. But to solve that solution, I had some HT cable from BGM, and this comes in meter lengths. So as you can see, I've cut some off, and I've got a bit of slack as well, just in case I have to cut some off. But I don't think I have to, because I've started using these little BGM plug caps. They're actually quite nice. They're a lot smaller than the it's just like a one-piece construction in the rubber here, so that they won't rattle loose, and they're a lot lower than the standard type, so they sort of don't come in conflict with anything. So the issue was that, as you can see here, this is my original HT cable from the vape. That is got it's like a 2P system. Looks pretty good. They've got a nice wide rubber bit there. The problem is that, like, when you fit, if I fit it on the side that I haven't fit anything on, when you go to screw in your HT cap like this, let's get some purchase, because this is what I had to do when I changed it last time, and that's what's giving me problems now, is that when you wind that in, it doesn't stop. So you're not sure if you got it in all the way. And if you keep winding that, you're going to wreck the copper winding in there. So what I found actually with the BGM type HT coil lead is that because that plastic, I think it's maybe a bit more solid material, something or other. I have got no idea why this is, but what I found was, it's actually, you have to poke it in the copper there, and when I tighten this one up, I can feel I got more purchase on the copper wire, and when I've screwed it, there you go, I can't move it anymore. So you're not going to wreck that. So that was the solution to this one. I think that is the solution to this one. I have not started it. I'm going to start it quickly to make sure that that's what is the problem. So that in the next couple of days, I am hopefully going to be able to do that beeline review that I've promised for about 1.5 years actually. Right, so yeah, nice strong spark first kick, and it's been stuck for about 3 days, so that's obviously what the problem was. Happy days. One last thing I need to talk about is my RT Fabrications tank. I have now rubber mounted that on rubber grommets, so it's completely isolated from everything. I have even on the screws at the top, so I've got these like rubber grommets, the same sort that you've got on your exhaust. Hang on a second, I'll show you. These puppies, I mounted these front and rear, they're 20mm, and you can't see any difference. And as well as mounting them on this, I mounted them under a big plastic washer as well to completely isolate it from all the vibrations that it can. Unfortunately, my RT Fabrications tank that is in that one, if you watch the end of the last video, if you haven't done that, just watch the end, you'll see what happened there. I have ended up having to resort to fit my Asian tank again, so that I can actually have that up and running, so I can ride with my son. And that tank has been sent back to Rob at RT Fabrications because he thinks there's something mystical happening with his welds or something. So he's going to dissect that, I think, and try and find out what is going on before he sends me a new tank for both the sledge and that one. Luckily, the tank for the sledge, that is holed up. I've done 580 kilometers, something like that, since I rubber mounted it. I have had no problems with that now. So I'm hoping that that sort of solved my problem with the sledge. That thing does vibrate. You can see as well, for the keen-eyed, you can see the bit of primer on the footboard there, rear footboard. That is because I had to weld that up because it is vibrated to death. There was some splits there from before, but because of the vibrations on the sledgehammer, they sort of over-exaggerated a bit. And on the way home from Trondheim, if you watch that video in its full, then you will know, and you would have heard that rattling like a good one. So I've sorted that out, and another thing that I bought now is new footboard strips, because these, I don't know what make they are. I think they're some Asian type. They came with the scooter when I bought it a couple of years ago, and those little plastic nubs on the bottom of those, they sort of crack off for some strange reason, something that's never happened to me. Toured, I have fit, which ones did I fit on hers? I actually fit Scootopia on those, and they've been really nice. But I bought some Casa Lambretta ones for this one. So hopefully, within a couple of days, I'll be able to get out and do the beeline review. I hope I didn't bore you too much in this video. I think that could be a handy tip for someone down the road. And I know you like my messing around the garage videos better than anything else, so of course I am going to be doing those. So things to look forward to are fitting a knee exhaust on Toured, my Series 2, and the beeline review, and I'm going to another rally, so some more POV action, and I've got a vlog, and I've got loads of stuff coming up anyway. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel. Don't forget to do the old subscribe. Give me a thumbs up or down, doesn't matter. Algorithm likes those too. And I love you and leave you, and see you in the next one. Don't forget, if you like this kind of stuff, do the old press the bell, notifications bell, because then you get notified when new videos come out and you don't miss anything. Thank you very much, and thank you, a big massive shout out to all my supporting members of the channel, really nice. That's why I can buy fancy stuff. Well, not really, I don't really get that much, but I need to over exaggerate a little bit because I feel I don't do enough for you guys, the members of the channel. Thank you very much. Hats off, and I will see you in the next one. Ta-ra.